What up everyone, I have a new part to install today. I have a couple of APR GT3 mirrors that I got in the mail, and I bought them off of someone else used, so I got them for a little bit cheaper. Instead of the regular $315 price, I got them for $210 plus shipping. So I'm going to be removing the old side view mirrors on the S2000, if you guys can see it. I already pulled the car out, so I'm going to be showing you how to take off the door panels and yeah, just get those original mirrors out. I haven't done this before, so I might run into some problems like you always do anytime you install a car part. So we'll go ahead and do that. Alright, so first things first. From what I saw, I think we're going to be removing this little trim piece right there. The camera will focus. Alright, so we got that one. Another one right here. And then finally, there's one hidden behind lever. So we're going to be taking those off and then prying alongside the door panel with one of these interior piece pullers, just so that you don't scratch anything up or ding anything. There's one. Oh shit. Other one. So you can see the screw, the Phillips screw on that one. And then the other one, if you can kind of see it. So now that we have those two pieces pulled, we'll go ahead and unscrew them with the Phillips screwdriver. Alright, so while prying alongside the door panel, I actually went around all the way down here and over here. And then once I got to this point, I noticed that there's some little pins. So there's one here and one over here. So these pins will pop out. I don't think we're gonna have to take this one out yet. We'll see. But for now, this one definitely did come out when I popped it out. So it's right here, so just be careful it doesn't fly out and you lose it. So I'm just gonna keep going alongside and just prying it along. So guys, when taking off the door panel, be careful for the wiring, because that's gonna be connected to the door switch for the window motor. And then once you get to this point, just unclip it, and now you can take off the entire panel and just put it aside. It might be a little bit hard to see, but this switch is going to be connected to your side view mirror, so we're going to need to unplug that. But before we do that, don't be fooled by these two bolts. Those are definitely not holding in the side view mirror. Actually, if you go under here and look at those two up there, if the camera will focus, you can see that there's two up there and they're hidden up there, and those are the ones that you're gonna want to unbolt. Holy shit guys, so we ran into a lot of fucking problems, and it was just a huge detour from what I thought we were gonna do. It just took a whole different level. So I'm gonna show you guys what we did and how we got to these bolts that are really hard to get. Well, two of them are pretty easy, but the third one is a real bitch, and you got to be really careful on getting the third one. So I'll show you guys. Holy fuck, that's hard to see. Oh, there we go. Okay guys, so you see those two on the left side, those are easy to get to, but it's that third one on the right that's the hardest. So if you guys can see, I got a good picture of it right now. So that right one is the one that it's really hard to get. So you're probably thinking, how the hell do I get it from this hole? Well, you don't. You gotta peel this back over here. So this plastic that you have that's covering up the holes and whatnot, the window motor, the regulator, whatever. So you'll come in from this side with your ratchet. Without the extension, you'll come on this side and just reach in as far as you can, and then just unscrew that bolt. And then once you do that, then we'll go over here and slide this little guy off of this clip and unplug it. And now that it's loose, we can follow it through and finally take off the side view mirror. So now that mirror's off, we got something that looks like this. And now we can put on the APR GT3 mirror. Alright, so we have the mirrors. You can see this is all one piece. The 2 bolts. So we're not going to be using 3, but it's one of the easy ones and then one of the hard ones. So apart from those, we'll slide them in like so. And they'll slide over this. Actually, you gotta line them up, make sure you got them where they're supposed to. So once we line them up, I'm just gonna put it on whatever way right now, but if we come on this side, here, go to the other side. You see, this was pretty dirty. We just used some wipes and wiped it down, but it's not gonna cover the entire hole like the original mirror. So you're still gonna get this little, there's leftover marks that maybe you could get down with a really deep cleaning and get all this grime off. But you still kind of have like a little bit showing of where the other one was. But if you can see here, that's how it's gonna be. And that's a little bit of a difference from, if you can see the outline of where the other one was. So yeah, we're gonna make sure that this gasket is set right, and then once we have it set right and where we want it and in place, then we'll go ahead and go through the back and put on those other bolts. Alright, update time, guys. So getting these mirrors on with the original nuts that were from the other, the stock mirror, we were able to use those nuts on the new bolts, but since the new bolts are really long and extended, we had to come over by the other side where I showed you guys that big opening with just a regular wrench. And thankfully, I'll show you guys right now. As I was saying, thankfully that they have these Allen inserts on the other side of the screw. So what I did is I had Kelsey over here with an Allen wrench tighten these while I went on the other side through this giant hole with a 10mm wrench and held the other side while he tightened both of those. So hopefully, it's really hard to get a view in here. So there's one. Oh fuck. There's the 2. So we didn't use the one on the bottom of the left hand side one. We just had those 2 opposite to each other. Now back to the simple part, and now that we have the mirror on, I'm going to go ahead and put the door panel back on and put everything back to normal. And everything's put back together now, so I'm gonna take the camera and just do a quick comparison of the stock side and the new APR GT3 side, just as a little comparison. And then I'm gonna do the other side, and I don't think you guys need to see that. It's the same thing. It's just gonna be a real bitch for me because that took a really long time, and I was not even expecting it to take that long, but it did. And well, I did expect to run into some problems because, as always, anything aftermarket, we always run into little things here and there that are really unexpected. So here's the comparison. So it's quite a bit of a difference from stock to the APR. You can see from this angle just how it's pretty much twice as small as stock. So if we get closer, closer view of the APR, and then we go to the stock one. Yeah, it's a pretty big difference. I don't know if I'm really that fond of it. I'm sure it'll just grow on me, but I already have them, and it was so much of a pain to put them on that I'm definitely going to keep them. But I'll give more of an update as I actually drive the car and see how these mirrors work. But yeah, my buddy here is cleaning up the grime, residue left over from the stock. So the one side, that actually took 1 hour to do, and now that I did the second side, or the other side, that only took 27 minutes. So with all those tricks that I learned from the other side from doing it my first time, it definitely really did help out on the other side. So I'll go ahead and show you guys what now both of the mirrors with the APR mirrors looks like. Now here are both APR GT3 mirrors. So it definitely probably takes some getting used to compared to the bulky stock ones, but they do look really nice. Alright, well, thank you guys for watching, and I hope this helped you guys if you're doing this kind of an install, and those little tricks that I did to make it easier to install those APR mirrors. I'll catch you guys on the flip side.